All right, hello everybody. I'm uploading another video. Today we're going to be talking about religious program specialists in the Navy Reserves. Now, those of you who don't know, I do not represent the DoD. I am just speaking about my experiences and what I know about my community. I am RP2 Labanka, Religious Program Second Class Petty Officer, and I've been in the Navy for 3 short years, and I love it. This is the best job that I've ever had in my life. Now, in the reserve units, this is how the reserves work: 2 weekends a month, 1 week a year. So for those time frames, you're not. If you watch my last video, there's a little basic understanding of what RPs do and what our job is. In the reserves, you're not really doing any of that at all. All right. There may be times where it falls into it a little bit, but just clearly, it just wouldn't be as much as somebody like myself who's on active duty would be dealing with. Now, you may or may not have a chaplain. Sometimes you're just by yourself, so then you're really going to be lost because you really have no guidance from somebody who at least knows about RPs. And even other ratings don't really know that much about RPs because we're not a super common rate. There are not a lot of RPs in the fleet. Now, joining the Navy as an RP who's going into the reserves, you're obviously going to go to your 9-week boot camp. After you graduate boot camp in Great Lakes, you are going to go to your 5-week A school in Newport, Rhode Island. Once you graduate that, you're going to go to your 10-week McKest training, which is a C school. It's a little bit more advanced. It's just an advanced type of school. And the whole point of this school is for you as a reservist and as an RP is to understand how the Marine Corps operates. Obviously, chaplains are non-combatants. If for whatever reason we are in a combat environment like in Afghanistan a few years ago, RPs are the one expected to be combatants for the chaplain. Now, at that school, it's a lot of physical fitness. Obviously, the Marine Corps standard of fitness is way higher than the Navy. We have too many fat people in the Navy. Just my opinion. And it's really taxing going through that training. The most common rates that go through that training are actually RPs and HMs because we need to understand the rank structure of the Marine Corps and how they operate so we can do what falls in on our jobs. Now, once you graduate that C school, if you're in the reserves, which you are going to be going to C school if you're in the reserves, you're going to go to whatever state you're going to be in, and you're going to be attached to a reserve unit, and that reserve unit as a whole is, from my understanding, attached to an active duty unit. So let's say I'm a reservist, RP2 Labanka. I'm in Florida with my reservist unit, but my active duty component is the USS Stockdale. So essentially how that works, if the Stockdale was going to go on a deployment, I could volunteer and go temporary active duty and be on deployment for the extension of that ship being on deployment. Now that would work the same exact way when it comes to Marine Corps units, how they break their things down and going on deployments, any kind of ships going on deployments, just anything across the board, right? Now, when it comes to being a reservist RP, that's really going to be the only time you're going to be doing your job as an RP. If you watch my last video, you have a little understanding of what we do. Besides that, you're just going to be drilling, staying up on all of your qualifications, doing boring Navy stuff. There's really not a lot going on in the reserves unless you're actively going on those deployments and volunteering to go on. If you do go on those deployments, you get full active duty pay. You're not getting that reservist pay, which is like almost nothing. And you also, you also get to that time. So let's say I'm a reservist and I went on an 8-month deployment. I get 8 months added on to my total time in the reserves. It's broken down to like a full year being in the reserves is like half of a year being in active duty, because obviously you're not putting on the uniform every day. You're not working that job every single day. So it's just a little bit different. That's a very basic overview of how the reserves work, though. I could have some information not fully understood because I myself am an active duty service member. So there's just a little bit. I tried to dig around a little bit and I found some answers for y'all. So hopefully, to the person who commented on last video, this answered your questions and it helped you decide how you want to go about things. If anybody else has any kind of questions, whether they be typical Navy questions, any other rates, I want to make more specifically RP videos because there's no representation of this amazing community on the internet. Please comment, ask anything. I am 100% going to respond. And if you want me to make a video about it, I'll make a video about it. All right. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys have a great weekend.